It's Wednesday, so you know it's time for Wise Guys.
That's right. Matt Selenuva, physics professor, joins us now today for Wise Guys. We're learning about a topic in pop culture, bubbles.
Right, and we have zero snakes, by the way, just so you know.
Perfect, because I don't like those snakes.
Right.
Awesome.
So now, bubbles are kind of like balloons, right? You blow them, you see them, they kind of float around, and then they vanish. So they're like beautiful transient balloons. And sometimes interesting physics is very, very beautiful, and bubbles is an example of that. So what you need to make a balloon, as you know, you need like a membrane that's a little bit stretchy, and you need a way to get air inside it. And so how do you get a membrane that's kind of stretchy from water, right? So the question is, so if I put this little water thing here, it turns out that water has something called surface tension. And surface tension means like the surface of this water is actually like a rubber sheet.
Okay.
And you can see this if you zoom in on this, and if I can do this without dropping this thing.
I believe in you.
Okay. Then, okay, let's see if I can do this. Okay. I can... okay. So anyways, you can float. You can try this at home. You can lay a paper clip on a surface of water, and it'll lay there like on a sheet of a bed.
Oh,
okay?
Cool. I believe you.
Now, if I take a straw and I try to blow bubbles in water, it doesn't work real well.
Right.
For a couple of reasons. One is that water's surface tension is really, really strong, actually. So it pulls the bubbles and tries to make them small, and water evaporates. So I stole a little bit of dish soap from your kitchen.
Wow, that's
if I
what
just
it's for.
drip a little bit in here and stir it up, and now when I try to blow bubbles, it works a lot better. Okay? So what's happening is the following. What the dish soap does is it reduces the surface tension of the water so it's not so strong so the bubbles can get bigger. And it also coats the water with something on either side. So I'm going to illustrate that with these pieces of paper. So imagine that this is a thin layer of water.
Okay.
If you put a little bit of soap, some soap molecules on either side of that thing, those soap molecules attach themselves to the water on either side, and they act kind of like a shield, so they make it a bit stronger. It makes it so the water doesn't evaporate as quickly, and so you have this sort of triple layer thing which can act like rubber.
Which allows for bubbles.
Which allows the bubbles, like over here, these bubbles are still going on. Okay, so now the nice thing is you can just run out to the store and for like 50 cents or something buy bubble fluid, which is great. So you can make your own, but you can buy stuff that's really well, and they put a little extra glycerin in there so it lasts a bit longer. So that's what the stuff is in here. Okay, so if I blow on this, you'll notice that two things. The bubbles are round, and they're beautiful. Do you see how there's different colors and stuff in the bubbles? Okay, so let's first of all talk about why a bubble is round.
Okay.
This is a really interesting physics concept, which is that physics likes to minimize energy. Okay, and so if you take a balloon, it's round. You never see a square balloon. You would have to squish it and put it in a box and do work on it to make it square or cubical, but that would take energy, and nature prefers things to have the lowest possible energy, and the sphere has the smallest possible surface energy, surface area, so you're stretching the rubber the least by making it a sphere, and the same thing works for bubbles. Okay, so let's do this. What's kind of neat too is that you can make big bubbles and little bubbles, and well, actually, let me show you something else. So sometimes...
Oh, wow. That's bigger.
Yeah, I just take a piece of wire, and I bent this at home. And now you see, you have like a little trampoline in here.
Oh, right. That's
okay,
cool.
so what I want to do is I'm going to make a bubble. I'm going to have it bounce on the trampoline.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay?
Oh, my
How
gosh.
cool is that?
Now, does it
Pretty
depend
cool.
on how much of the fluid you have within, I guess, the liquid itself, how big you can make the bubbles or how big of an area?
Oh, yeah. Well, so you can experiment. So, for example, here in this little dish, I can blow and make some bubbles, but I can take one of those bubbles and make it bigger just by shoving my straw into it.
Oh, wow.
Okay? So you can experiment at home and see how you can make bubbles of different shapes. If you have a collection of bubbles like this, if you blow something around the outside of a bunch of bubbles, and in the center of those other bubbles, you can get something that isn't round anymore. It can be a weird trapezoidal sort of cubical shape.
Sure.
So there's lots of experimentation you can do.
And why does that work with the wire? Why does it do that? Why does it bounce off like that?
Oh, just because these soap bubbles can actually, the surface of them, of this liquid, they can repel each other a little bit when they touch. So in fact, it's like I'm playing bubble tennis. See?
I know, it's pretty cool.
Okay,
It's
so
really cool
so it's really kind of fun to play with.
Yeah.
Now, before we leave this thing, or actually two things if we have time.
Sure.
If you have a this thing is kind of, whoops, this is just a plane, and it's a circular thing. If I make something that's not a circle, it's kind of a weird geometrical shape,
Sure.
you can get interesting bubbles here as well also. So here you see how this thing is kind of a saddle-shaped
Sure.
thing? And so what's happening here is that nature is minimizing the surface area of that bubble that's inside here. Okay, so this shape is a very complicated geometrical shape, but nature knows how to make it immediately because that's the smallest possible surface area you can have. Okay, so anyway, let's make a giant bubble.
Yeah, that's the part I've been waiting for, honestly. I
So
saw
over
this
here, this is just some strings and a couple of pieces of wood, so you guys might want to step
Just get
back.
out the way.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to lift this up,
My God.
and I'm going to go like this.
Oh my gosh. Oh my God. I can fit in that. Oh, wait, do it again.
Let's
Do
try
it
that
again. One more time. Oh my gosh. You guys.
Oh.
Are you serious? Those are huge.
And it's totally homemade, so you can just get, this is the string and some
So kids
skewers.
can do this.
Yeah, of course you can do this at
And
home.
along with
And
that
this is
string,
just water and dish soap?
Water
is that
and
right?
soap, it's good, clean fun. You can't go wrong.
You guys, that's so cool. Matt, I might make this for myself. We are all inner children, right? That's what we were talking about earlier.
I'm an outer child, by the way.
Oh, well, you know what? You know what? He does have Hawaiian shirts, you guys. It's pretty awesome. But, Matt, thanks for teaching us about bubbles today, you guys. That's Wise Guys. Now, Ab and I can make giant bubbles at home, and so can you. So we'll be right back with more of The Morning Show.